So what if Tinubu has a past? Obama used cocaine, Bush had a deal, Clinton lied under oath, and Trump faces indictment, yet they all led the election. Look at them, defending rubbish. You want to defend now, Abi? Can you imagine who is this person? Let me be clear, without ambiguity, I do not know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally. You do not know him personally, so why are you defending him? I have never met him. Now so, I seek no favor from him. I write not as a beneficiary of his political circle, nor as someone hoping to secure access or future privilege. I write purely and entirely as a psychologist, as a thinker, and as a concerned observer of human society. I write as someone who has dedicated decades of study and practice to understanding why people act the way they do, how they transform, and how societies often err when they weaponize the past to define someone's present without pause for growth, reform, or grace. This person is likely based in ability be that in name again. And so when I speak now about the recent US federal court ruling compelling the FBI and DEA to release records tied to an old drug probe involving Tinubu, I do so with clinical clarity and ethical intent, not political loyalty. This is not about defending Tinubu the politician. It is about defending the human journey, which includes imperfection, error, change, and the potential for redemption. Does this person look like he has changed? Has he changed like this? He has not changed. If there were changes, probably would say, okay, his past doesn't matter, but he has not changed. He's still the same person that he is. He's still putting us in problems. The country is still not working, so obviously he has not changed. Mr. Obiezin, ability be your name. Public scrutiny of President Bola Tinubu has long hovered around two central pillars of controversy, one involving his educational record and the other a financial forfeiture linked to a US drug investigation. Both incidents, while separated by time and legal context, have fused in the national imagination to form a single powerful narrative of suspicion. But to understand what these cases truly reveal about Tinubu, about Nigeria, and about ourselves, we must look deeper, not just at the facts, but at the psychology behind our responses to them. In the heat of the 2023 electoral season, public attention reignited around the allegation that Tinubu had forged academic credentials from Chicago State University, CSU. The legal process in the United States forced the university to release relevant records. The goal, at least publicly, was truth. The unspoken goal for many, however, was confirmation of a long-standing suspicion. When CSU Registrar Caleb Westbrook testified under oath that Tinubu has indeed attended the university between 1977 and 1979, and that the institution had awarded him a degree, the official confirmation should have quieted the storm. But it didn't. Instead, the last segment of the Nigerian population rejected the testimony outright or dismissed it as a cover-up. Why? Because the suspicion did not begin with documents, it began with emotional injury. In a country battered by chronic lies, inflated titles, and credential fraud, trust is no longer rational, it is emotional, and when people have been betrayed too often, even the truth looks suspicious. There is no doubt that Tinubu's early years, particularly during his time in the US, were marked by controversy, but since then he has lived through decades of active political life, serving as governor of Lagos State, enduring exile and persecution, helping to build a major political coalition, and eventually becoming president of the most populous black nation on earth. This is not the life path of a man stuck in old habits. It is the arc of a man who, like all of us, has changed over time. Change called change. This phenomenon is not uniquely Nigerian. In fact, some of the world's most visible and powerful democracies, especially the United States, have repeatedly elected leaders with complex, morally conflicted, and even publicly scandalous histories. Rather than automatically disqualify such individuals, democratic societies often wrestle with their flaws, weigh their past against their promises, and ultimately entrust them with leadership based on what they represent in the present. Take Donald Trump, for example. He ascended to the US presidency despite being surrounded by a cloud of enduring legal and moral controversy. His history included inflammatory remarks on race, including the infamous Central Park 5 statements, a forced settlement linked to Trump University, multiple accusations of sexual misconduct, and 2 separate impeachment proceedings. As of this writing, he faces numerous criminal charges, indictments, and yet he remains a central political force. So because of that, so you are justifying the fact that our president too has a skeleton in his cupboard, or he has also been indicted of drug before. So you are trying to compare, or you are trying to justify. Similarly, Bill Clinton, often remembered as a charismatic and intellectually sophisticated president, was impeached for perjury after lying under oath about an affair with the White House intern, but Clinton's political journey was littered with personal controversies long before that scandal broke. Despite it all, it was not defined solely by those personal feelings. Abeg, that's for someone that, okay, this person has a bad past, but he has truly changed, and the changes are feasible. As you can see it. Okay, what's the assurance now that the president has changed? It's not as if he has brought us out of suffering in the country. We are still suffering. He's still carrying our money to France to go and treat himself, or we don't know what they are doing in France. So you can't, I don't like the way people compare. You people be comparing US to us in Nigeria. These people have not changed. Have they changed? They haven't. They haven't changed. Even Barack Obama, often held as a symbol of moral clarity and intellectual refinement, did not shy away from confronting his own history. In his memoir, Dreams from My Father, Obama frankly admitted to experimenting with alcohol, marijuana, and even cocaine during his younger years. These were not revelations leaked by enemies. They were honest reflections. At least he was honest about his own. Is our president honest about his own? They are still denying it till date. So how does that make them the same? So why are you comparing them to each other? You can't compare somebody that even wrote in his book that yes, he has done cocaine, he has done this, he has done that, to someone that is denying. He's still denying up to today. Even his spokesperson is still denying on his behalf. One is saying that, oh, it is not true. The other one is saying that it's true, but it's been 30 years ago. So which one do we believe? I beg. This is a truth that every maturing democracy must come to accept. Leaders are not born perfect. They are shaped through pain, through reform, and through the long journey of becoming. The task of the electorate is not to find saints, but to recognize humans who have faced their past, learned from them. This person has not learned from anything. Mr. Ebiazen, he has not learned from anything. And shown sign of responsible evolution. Has he shown sign? No, he has not. He has not. To demand flawlessness is to seek illusion. To accept growth is to choose reality and possibly progress. We are not asking for perfection. Nobody is perfect. But at least let us see that, okay, yes, this person really cares about us. They do not. They do not care about us. It's something that is so glaring that these people do not care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about anybody but themselves. So I don't understand what you are saying. You trying to justify and whatever. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Beg my listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.